In this video, we're going to introduce you to some of the very basic concepts in programming inside a UX component. And you can think of this as sort of the Alpha Anywhere equivalent of the ubiquitous Hello World sample that many programming books teach. So in this particular case, we're going to click on a row in the list control here, and then when we click this button, we're going to update a message on the screen. So you can see here when we click the button, it says you clicked on Amanda Higgins from Chicago or Alison Berman from Los Angeles. So let's go now and recreate this little component from scratch. So we'll go there and we'll create a new component. So we'll go and create a new, so here we have a new UX component, and let's just go and choose a style sheet that we like, panel test, and then go over to controls. And the first thing that we'll do is we'll put in our list box. So we'll just call our list box, say list 1, and then we'll go over to the list definition and we'll just choose a static list with some sample data over there, and then go down to the list properties and select those columns. So now we have a list control over here, and we'd like to turn off this label. Then we'd like to put a label where we'd like to actually put our message and a button. So let's go back now and add a label control, which we'll call, say, LBL1. And then also let's go and in other controls put in our button, and let's move both the label and the button to the top of the screen. So we can go to this button now and start defining the code that's going to set this value in this label over here. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll just figure out how to actually put some text into that label. So let's go over to click event for this button, switch to text mode here, and what we're going to do is use the set value method. So if we go there and just search for set value, we can see here's the syntax for this set value. So we go there and go there. So we'd like to do set value. The control that we'd like to set the value on was LBL1, and let's just practice now with some dummy values like hello world. So go there, click OK, close it now, click the button, and there you can see hello world. But I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but there's a faint background behind this label because we're using the default class. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're also going to get rid of the label controls label because we don't need that either. So we'll just right click on this label and say label position none. And then we'll also go to the label and we'll remove the class. So we'll get rid of the default class that was being used. And so now when we go over to the label button and press the button, we just get the hello world with no background behind it. So now the next task that we need to do is figure out how to read data from the current row in the list so we can compose a message to set over here. So we'll go back to design mode right now, and we'll go to our button, and we'll go back to the click event, and then above this we're going to go here and say var first name equals, and now we want to read the value from the first name column in the list. So let's go here and choose the get value method, and if we look at the get value method help, it tells us that if you want to read the value from a list control, the syntax is get value, then the keyword list, then colon colon, the name of the list, colon colon, and then the column name that you want to read. So let's go back now and say that first name is equal to dialog dot object dot get value, and then it's going to be list colon colon list 1 colon colon first name. And now we can do the same thing for last name, city and state, but rather than type it, I'm going to just go here and copy some text that I've previously composed, and let's just go in and paste that in, and this is a duplicate there, so I'll just remove it. So you can see now that we're reading the value of last name, first name, city, state, and zip. So I'm going to pause now and pick this up in the next video. So we're continuing our video now on the introduction to programming in the UX component, and I've just pasted some code now into the code editor from my clipboard. But before I run this code, I need to fix it because you can see here that the code that I pasted assumes that the list is called L1, but in actual fact my list here is called list1. So rather than make these changes over here, let me go and change the name of the list from list1 to L1. Sorry, that's the label over there. Let's go back up to the variable name and change the variable name to L1 over there. So now we've gone ahead and changed our list, and now when we go to working preview and then click on a button, we can see that our message appears over there, but the message is wrapped around, and the reason that it's wrapped around is that by default all controls have a width of 2 inches unless you explicitly set the control's width. So let's go to this label control over here and set its width to say 6 inches. So now we'll go back to working preview, click a row and then click the button, and there we have our message over there. So what we've shown in this little video is how the get value and set value method of the UX component can be used to read values out of this list control and set values of other controls. In this case we set a value of a label control, and we put some static text on the UX component which was composed by reading values from the list control. So I hope you found that interesting. Thanks very much for watching.